The Galactic Academy was known across the universe as a melting pot of species, cultures, and intelligences. Beings from thousands of planets, with varied environmental backgrounds, sent their brightest to learn and grow together in an environment rich with knowledge from every corner of the galaxy. The Academy prided itself on its inclusive environment, offering education that challenged students' minds, bodies, and spirits in ways that aligned with their unique biology and cultural histories. However, this grand diversity also presented challenges, particularly when one species' strengths or abilities starkly contrasted with another's. This was never more apparent than when humans, hailing from Earth, a planet classified as a deathworld due to its extreme environmental hazards, entered the fold. Humanity, relatively new to the galactic stage, was an enigma. Their planet was known for its relentless natural disasters, dangerous fauna, and an atmosphere that was toxic to most other species. Yet humans thrived there, emerging as a resilient and adaptable species. To other galactic citizens, it was incomprehensible that such a fragile-looking race could have survived, let alone thrived, in such an environment. As a result, humans were often treated with a mixture of awe and caution. The term Deathworlder became synonymous with the kind of hardened survivalist spirit that many other species simply could not fathom. So, when Jax, a human student, enrolled at the Academy, he quickly became a subject of both fascination and fear. Jax's quiet demeanor and calm nature only added to the mystique surrounding him. He didn't flaunt his heritage or the stories of Earth's perils. He preferred to observe, listen, and act only when necessary. His peers, however, couldn't ignore the whispers, the rumors that floated through the Academy halls about what a Deathworlder was capable of. They had heard the stories about Earth, how its oceans were filled with predators, how its skies sometimes rained fire, and how, despite all of this, humans had built civilizations, mastered space travel, and reached the stars. To the alien students, Jax represented everything terrifying about the unknown. But to Jax, it was just life. The day of the dangerous classroom assignment arrived like any other. It was part of an advanced survival course, designed to test students' ability to navigate and overcome hazardous environments. The Academy had a sophisticated simulation chamber capable of replicating a wide variety of environments and threats, from collapsing structures to apex predators. Each scenario was crafted to push students to their limits. While the danger was simulated, the psychological and physical stress it imposed on the students was very real. For most, it was the pinnacle of their academic journey, a test that would prove their readiness to face the universe's many dangers. The assignment was deceptively simple: survive. The simulation would throw waves of danger at the students, increasing in intensity and complexity, and they were expected to work together to endure. Most species in the galaxy had evolved in relatively safe environments, where cooperation and caution were key to survival. To them, danger was something to be avoided or mitigated at all costs. The concept of rushing headlong into a hazardous situation, as humans were known to do, was utterly alien. The instructor, a stern-looking being from the calm and placid world of Niter, stood at the front of the class, explaining the assignment. "You will enter the simulation in groups of 5, they explained, their voice calm but authoritative. The environment will adapt to the species present. You must work together to overcome the obstacles. Remember, this is not about individual heroics, it's about survival as a team." Jax listened carefully, though his mind was elsewhere. For him, this was just another test. He had faced far worse on Earth. His classmates, on the other hand, were tense. His group consisted of 4 other alien students: Zalari, a delicate insectoid with fragile wings; Ket, a gelatinous being from a low-gravity world; Mgal, a plant-based lifeform that communicated through pheromones and vibrations; and Ira, a quadruped mammalian species known for their speed and agility but fragile constitution. Each of them hailed from worlds vastly different from Earth, where danger was rare, and life was more about stability and predictability. As they entered the simulation chamber, the environment began to shift around them. The chamber, a marvel of galactic technology, quickly transformed into a dense forest with towering trees, thick underbrush, and an eerie silence that hung in the air like a warning. The sky above was dark, storm clouds gathering ominously, and the distant rumble of thunder sent ripples of anxiety through the group. The simulation had barely started, and already, the tension was palpable. Zilari fluttered nervously, her delicate wings trembling as she scanned the surroundings. "I don't like this," she whispered, her voice high-pitched and anxious. "This forest. It feels too predatory." Ket, whose gelatinous form wobbled slightly in the unfamiliar gravity, nodded. "The air is too heavy here. This isn't right. We should stick together." Jax remained silent, his sharp eyes scanning the surroundings. To him, this was nothing compared to Earth's forests, where predators like bears and wolves roamed freely, and the environment itself could turn hostile in a matter of seconds. But he understood his teammates' anxiety. They had never experienced anything like this. Earth's natural chaos was beyond their comprehension. As the group cautiously moved forward, the first sign of danger appeared: a low growl from the shadows. Mgal, sensitive to vibrations, froze, his leaves rustling in agitation. "Something's coming," he warned, his pheromones releasing a scent of fear that filled the air. Suddenly, a creature resembling a large feline predator emerged from the underbrush, its eyes glowing in the dim light. It moved with a predatory grace, its muscles rippling beneath its sleek fur. The alien students panicked. Zilari shot into the air, her wings beating frantically as she tried to get as far from the ground as possible. Ket flattened himself against a nearby tree, his gelatinous body quivering in terror. Mgal attempted to blend into the foliage, his leaves turning a darker shade to match the trees around him. Ira, ever the fast runner, bolted, his four legs propelling him away from the threat at breakneck speed. But Jax stood his ground. To him, this predator was no different from the animals he had encountered in the wilds of Earth. Its movements were predictable, its intentions clear. Without hesitation, he grabbed a nearby branch thick and sturdy and stepped forward, his body language calm and controlled. The creature growled again, lowering itself into a crouch, preparing to pounce. The alien students watched in horror from their hiding places, too paralyzed by fear to act. When the creature lunged, Jax moved with practiced ease. He sidestepped the attack, bringing the branch down hard on the creature's side. The force of the blow sent it crashing to the ground, stunned but not defeated. It snarled, trying to rise, but Jax was already moving again. He swung the branch a second time, this time striking the creature's head. The impact was enough to knock it unconscious. Silence filled the simulation chamber. The alien students stared in disbelief, their eyes wide with shock. To them, this creature had been a death sentence, an insurmountable threat that would have torn them apart in seconds. But Jax had handled it as though it were nothing more than a mild inconvenience. Is it dead?" Zilari whispered from her perch in the trees, her wings still trembling. Jax shook his head, tossing the branch aside. "No. Just knocked out. It's a simulation, anyway. It won't hurt us." The others slowly emerged from their hiding places, their bodies still tense with fear. Mgal's pheromones reeked of confusion and disbelief, while Ket's gelatinous form wobbled with residual terror. Ira, who had stopped his mad dash just in time to witness Jax's display of strength, looked at the human with newfound respect and fear. How did you do that?" Ira asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "That thing would have killed us." Jax shrugged. "It wasn't that bad. You just have to stay calm, assess the situation, and act. Panicking doesn't help." His words, though simple, struck a chord with the group. To them, danger was something to be avoided at all costs, something to flee from. But to Jax, danger was simply a part of life. His calmness in the face of what they perceived as certain death was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. It was at that moment that they truly began to understand what it meant to be a Deathworlder. The simulation continued, throwing more hazards at the group, a flash flood that sent them scrambling for higher ground, a fire that spread rapidly through the forest, and even an earthquake that caused the ground to split beneath their feet. In every instance, Jax took charge, his instincts guiding him through the chaos with a confidence that left his alien classmates speechless. Where they hesitated, he acted. Where they panicked, he remained calm. And where they saw impossible odds, he saw challenges to be overcome. By the end of the simulation, the alien students were exhausted, both physically and mentally. The stress of the environment had taken its toll on them, their bodies and minds struggling to cope with the constant barrage of dangers. But Jax, though tired, was relatively unfazed. He had been through worse on Earth.